Every day on this very show, we do a segment that's called The Big Eye. It's all about big new ideas and innovations, and one of our favorite big eyes is IBM's Watson computer. Just this week, Watson put the smackdown on 2 human contestants on Jeopardy. Take a look.
Now we come to Watson. We're looking for Bram Stoker, and we find who is Bram Stoker, and the wager? Hello, 17,973, 41,413, and a two-day total of 77,147.
Who knew you could be riveted by watching a computer on television? So in the battle of man versus the machine won on this one. But let's really compare the two here. USA Today published a great comparison. Watson weighs, get this, 1,190 pounds compared to a human's brain, which weighs 3 pounds. It took IBM 4 years to develop Watson. Humans have taken about 6 million years to develop. And when it comes to processor power, IBM has 2,800. Humans have 1 billion neurons. And computations per second, Watson has 200 trillion. Humans have 100,000 trillion. I can't even imagine that number, 100,000 trillion. Watson has us beat on memory, though. It's got us beat. So Watson is big and bad. We know that, and we were all riveted by when we watched him, those of us who did watch him. But it's not just about game show antics. There are also very real medical uses for this technology. I want to bring in now Dr. Dave Ferrucci is IBM's chief scientist for Watson, and also Dr. Herbert Chase, a professor of clinical medicine at Columbia University. Thanks to both of you for joining us. Both of you guys are in our New York studios, and Dave, I'm going to start with you. How does Watson work?
Well, what's just interesting about Watson is on Jeopardy you just see sort of question in, answer out, but what you really want to focus on is that answer panel, which shows that Watson's actually considering many, many different possibilities, just as you might do if you were working in differential diagnosis or coming up with treatment options. And for each one of those possibilities, Watson's collecting evidence from many, many different sources, evaluating that evidence, weighing it, combining it, and deciding what's most likely the right answer here.
Okay, let's talk more here about medicine. I'm going to go to Dr. Chase. According to the Institute of Medicine, 98,000 people die every year from medical errors in hospitals. It's the 5th leading cause of death in the U.S. So how can doctors be sure that they're getting the right information?
Well, at the end of the day, they need a reliable source. They need to be able to get the information they need rapidly. During workflow, as we say, and I think Watson has the capacity to answer doctors' questions. A lot of the errors that are made are diagnostic errors because of lack of knowledge. They may be treatment errors because of insufficient knowledge about what the guidelines are. And it's been shown repeatedly that at the end of the day, most doctors don't have the time to look up all the things they need to look up. And so Watson, in its current form, actually can supply doctor with answers to their questions that they formulated during the day, and with those answers can improve their diagnostic outcomes and their treatment outcomes as well. Okay, so you just put in the patient's information and it draws it from a medical bank, data from somewhere? Well, not unlike, actually Dave should probably answer this, but Watson has access to information in all sorts of capacities and shines and shapes, and the doctor can give the clues, much like the Jeopardy clues. A patient might have a fever and a rash and some weight loss, and then Watson takes those clues and provides the evidence for one diagnosis over another. So
yeah, I mean, I think the electronic medical record is really just the beginning. This is the input data. Watson's going to break that down and look at it from very different dimensions, whether it be the patient history, the family history, the symptoms, the findings. It's going to take that and then look at reference books, textbooks, a huge breadth of information, the most recent abstracts, even the blogosphere, to try to understand how to relate the most current knowledge to what's going on with that patient, again, to inform the doctor about the many different possibilities and what evidence to look at to support the right diagnosis, or even beyond that, looking at the huge variety of treatment options that might exist.
So it sounds like Watson can do everything really but operate, and well, can Watson operate, or will it happen in the future?
No, I don't think you're going to want Watson in the operating room and taking a scalpel to you. I think we have to think of it as a tool. There's a huge amount of information out there, and there's just not enough time to digest it. Okay. And what Watson provides you is a tool to get at it.
Okay, I want to bring in someone who's been waiting patiently here. Let's bring in Janet DeLeon. She is also live from our New York studios, and she's the president of Nuance Healthcare. So, Janet, thanks for joining us. Doctors have used computers to help make decisions about patient care for decades. We know that. How is this one different?
Well, I think one is different because it directly impacts something that everyone wants to directly impact in the U.S., which is the cost of care and the quality of care. And what Watson's going to allow us to do is get the best evidence, up-to-the-moment evidence, in the hands of the clinicians. And what we will bring to the table is we've demonstrated we can figure out how to get technology, embed it, and integrate it into a physician workflow so that they like it, they enjoy it, and they find it as a value add. And I think it's just a fantastic opportunity to work with Watson and raise the bar on getting that type of technology as a patient care tool for the physicians.
And how is that working? It seems like just within, if you think about it, within the past 2 years, maybe 3 years, the technology has advanced so much. Is it being well received within the medical community?
Well, for us, we've been working with speech for years, and we've introduced clinical language understanding. And today, we actually have approximately 50% of the physicians in the U.S. use our technology. Oh. So we have found a way, again, through speed, through accuracy, that physicians say, hey, this helps me deliver patient care, this is a value add. And again, I just see Watson being an extremely logical and extremely valuable extension to that.
My next question is for Dr. Ferrucci. Where did the name Watson come from? And beyond medicine, what applications do you foresee for Watson? I mentioned operating. Dave said he doesn't see operating, but beyond that.
Well, you know, Watson was named after T.J. Watson, Thomas J. Watson, the founder of IBM. And I think that, you know, when we position Watson, we position it as a tool that can gather, synthesize, analyze, do deep analysis on large volumes of content, of natural language content. And I think there are many industries where this can help, whether it be technical support, customer relationship management, financial services, anywhere where you want access to that knowledge that's buried in huge volumes of text. You want it collected, you want it summarized, analyzed, and presented so that you can make better decisions.
So, Janet, listen, we used to watch the Jetsons when we were kids, and we'd see the flying cars, and everyone thought, you know, we'd be going around in flying cars, and then we'd see the robots, you know, walking. Is this really like Watson, and even in this little phone? Is this what robots have evolved to?
Well, everyone who knows me knows I loved Astro Boy, but I think Watson will absolutely be deployed. It will be the evidence on the go. The clinician is the world's greatest untethered worker. Extremely mobile, physicians, nurses, caregivers, it's what they do. They go to patients. And absolutely, you have to imagine it's going to be Watson on the go at the moment that physician's interacting with the patient. That is absolutely where we want to drive this.
Ms. DeLeon, Dr. Chase, and Dr. Ferrucci, thanks to all of you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And for links to IBM's Watson's website, make sure you go to the Facebook account and the Twitter feed. Head to Allie's blog. All the information is on there, cnn.com/Allie. Very interesting story.